Today's presentation is really an overview of how special school district is now modifying sort of the IEP process in some of our schools and to give you information about what that might look like as you move through the process. Again, I didn't introduce myself, but my name is Adrienne Eaglin. I'm the Director of the Family and Community Engagement Division here in Special School District. And our mission is truly to partner with students, families, and staff to support students' specialized academic, social, and emotional needs to promote self-determination, equitable opportunities, and authentic inclusion. We do this work by really centering the student and supporting home and family while also engaging and collaborating with our school staff and our community members. We have several family engagement standards that we use to scope our work. And if you'd like more information about that, you can reach out to us at any time. But the meat of today's presentation is really about why SSD is making this change, what to expect when using these tools in the IEP, how the new format will support students and families, when and where is the change occurring, and who's available to support you through the change. So my hope is to really guide us through this conversation today, knowing that we only have a certain amount of time because lunch and learns are for bite-sized pieces of information. I also want you to know that if we don't get to your question in this presentation, you can reach out to us at face@ssdmo.org, and one of us will get back to you. So why is SSD making this change? Well, the reality is that sometimes families walk away from IEPs feeling like the information is overwhelming, that the IEP process is a complexity that they haven't learned how to navigate. And the reality is that has never been intentional, that our educators, our case managers, we believe that this process of using the Charting the Life course to facilitate the conversation is going to help create better partnerships, improve programming, and improve outcomes for students. So we heard your concerns, and we are making this change in an effort to improve the process and the outcomes for students. The other part of this is that we believe that you, as the family member, are an equal partner and are an expert on your student. Your participation in your child's IEP is essential, and we are improving our process to make this possible. Charting the Life course is a collaborative approach that helps families and educators work together to create IEP goals that accurately reflect your students' needs and strengths. The goals become more meaningful and focused on your students' planned outcomes. The universal IEP process will also ensure that all IEPs are written in a manner that will be easier for everyone to understand. You will find that these IEPs will have a greater detail to better support service provision. So even if your student transferred, there will be some commonality. So we are using Charting the Life course as a guide. Using these tools will empower students to make choices about their life. These tools can help families and teams work together in a structured yet conversational manner to build a meaningful and achievable plan for their students' lifelong development. Another important tip to recognize is as you're using these tools, don't just think that they're for education. These can be used in the community to support your student in many areas. If your student is going to camp or participating in sporting activities, even as they get older, these tools could be great to use to share with others about your students' needs and their strengths. So we also know that we want to reflect long-range planning principles in the work that we're doing. The IEP should always consider what does the student need to succeed in life. Charting the Life course is for all students and all ages. It is not just for specific students with specific disabilities. Charting the Life course allows for dreams to be broad at a young age and then narrow as the student gets closer to graduation. Planning early is the key. The plan isn't written in stone, but each IEP should get us closer to the outcomes your student desires. Charting the Life course builds self-determination skills in students. What we know is that self-determination skills are built by providing choice and decision-making opportunities, helping our students set goals for themselves and advocating for oneself. Self-determination is so important because it increases the likelihood that students will be successful. And it also reduces the risk of victimization for our students. So what we want to do is increase the use of these skills, even in IEP meetings before and after, so that our students will have increases in their graduation rates, employment, they will have a better quality of life, enrollment in college, and they can desire to live independently whenever that's possible. So here are the Charting the Life course tools that we will be using. Charting the Life course is going to promote students' ability to share their hopes, their concerns, and their dreams. We've also made some options to help students who are less verbal do this work as well. I want to take, in this presentation is a video that really talks about why the co-creator, Shelley Reynolds, talked about why she developed this to help families articulate what they want and what they need, because often they will come in, families, we've experienced that families will come in and they will ask for one thing, which is great. But as we continue to conversate, we learn that that one thing is more intentional around another subject. And so that's what we want to do with these tools. For the sake of time, and because we started a little late, I am not going to share that video. It's just about 15 to 30 seconds, but we need to keep going. I do invite you to come back and visit with us again on another date to watch that, or I'll link it in the YouTube version. All right, so families who are participating in Charting the Life course IEPs are going to receive a lot of communication from their district. What you will first receive is the family communication document. The following letter will be sent to your students' families to introduce them to this new meeting format. We want you to see that families can participate in these meetings using a number of modalities, so in person, online, over the phone, and or in writing. You'll also note that you have information about our division, Family and Community Engagement, to help you navigate the newness of this process and use of these tools. Families can expect to see these tools that are on the screen. The case manager will share these tools with you prior to the meeting. They will have been completed by your student at school during normal activities. You will also receive a copy of your tools to complete to participate. It's so important that we learn from you and that we give you time to capture your thoughts and your ideas on how your student can best be supported in these meetings. Please feel free to share them back with your student's team, educational team, so that they can prepare to have the data and the information you're interested in prior to that meeting. For more information, you can visit www.ssdmo.org/CtLC to learn more about the tools on your own time. But here's one of the tools we want you to be familiar with. This is the All About Me tool. This one is information your student will share in the school. So the student may say things that people like about them or admire about them, things that they are proud of themselves for can be listed here. In the second box, what's important to me? This is where the student can capture things about their own culture and value, people that they like, or why they're proud of themselves again. I think we made an error there, but what's important to them, their cultural values, their beliefs, what they would like and what they don't want to be without is also going to be important. And then how to best support them. They like it when, or you can get my attention by. This is so amazing at all ages that we should be able to use this part, because this is helping our students as they go along to start using their voice or using their own communication method to tell people what they need to be successful. Now, families get an opportunity to complete this tool as well. And families can answer these same questions based on what they know about their student. So in the first box, again, what are their strengths? What are their positive qualities? What do their teachers and friends say about them? And then the second box, remember what's important to me? What interests, hobbies, or routines make the student happy? What activities and people do they feel safe and comfortable around? And then last, this is where families can really share what are some of those strategies that help your students succeed at home, school, and even in the community, and what specific accommodations or communication methods have been successful. So think about how powerful completing this tool is for supporting your student, not just at home, but in school and in the community as well. So the next tool that we use in this process is the trajectory tool. It supports long-range planning and backward design. This is where your student will share what their goals are. This could range from being a superhero to learning how to drive or become an engineer. Many important details can be placed in the visions for what I want box. First, we want to talk about where we want to go. That's what you put in that box. What do you want for your student? What does your student want for him or herself? Then we will talk about past life experience. What have they already done to get them closer? This is where families can expect to hear and see existing data. How are we already progressing? This is what we've already mastered. Lastly, what additional skills or supports are needed to fill those gaps? This is where we start to talk about the new goals and the new ways that we're going to measure that information. So I know we've had a lot of questions about how do we do this for students who are low verbal students. So please know that we've collaborated with our assistive tech department and augmentative communication team, as well as our AU EPSs, and they've created Charting the Life course visual aids. These are prompts that break down the concepts that we're talking about. It is icon-based. They have available tools in elementary, middle, and high school. And then families are able to use relevant photos from their own libraries to support this information. So part of that conversation we just talked about in that what is a good life for your student is really talking about your vision for what you want or what your student wants for his or her life. So these are some things we want you to think about. We want students to think more than just their career and the dreams of an extravagant lifestyle. This section of the tool should cover who, what, when, where by focusing on who they want to spend their time with or surrounded by, how much support would they envision having, what type of job they would like to have, when they expect to have a home of their own, or when could they think that they might want to try moving into different living situations, where would they like to live, right? So all of these things, relationships, career, community involvement, we want our children to have and our young adults to have robust lives. So this is where we start to describe that for others who are supporting those outcomes. Here's a piece of the trajectory tool that we need to really talk about because a vision is complex. So let's get detailed about what that is. What I don't want is not just the opposite of what I want. We really want to surface additional considerations that give us specific information about how the student and their family envisions the future. Therefore, what supportive needs might be warranted, or what particular skills. So the vision is I want to go to college, but I don't want to go to college out of state. So that helps refine what we really want, right? So you see the second option is just the opposite. It doesn't list the inverse, right? So just being aware. The vision here, if we get a little more specific, is I do not want an adult following me everywhere. Don't want to go to new places for the first time without an adult. So I may need some support to get started, but I don't want it to be an ongoing thing. All right, so hopefully that helps when filling that out. But at the first meeting, these are some things you can expect too. So families can expect that this tool, the IEP meeting agenda, will be there. So remember those two tools we talked about, All About Me and the trajectory planning tool, those are completed prior to the meeting. So we're going to talk about what to expect at the meeting. So at the IEP meeting, it will be presented in your meeting and guide the conversation. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back. So this is the agenda. It will show you how the tools will be used in each section. So when we talk about the student, all about me tools will be used. The vision goes with the trajectory tool. So you'll see the normal flow of the meeting there. So here's the reality. So let's revisit the why. In a traditional IEP meeting, family and student voice has often had a low percentage of speaking time. The case manager has believed that he or she is responsible for doing most of that communication. Families typically are only responding to questions or asks if they understand or do they have any questions. Using the Charting the Life course in the IEP helps us to center the student's voice. Charting the Life course actually flips the speaking time, starting with the student, layering in the family vision, and ending with staff. How do we support it? This is the order of how the IEP meeting will progress. Student, then family, then staff. Don't worry, much of the work is done before the IEP. So let's talk about those details. Remember, on a couple slides ago, I talked about how these meetings will utilize the tools. So the meeting will begin with your student. The student will invite everyone to introduce themselves and how they support the success during the school day of your student. We begin the About the Student section by discussing the student's strengths, by asking what people like and admire about the student. Next, we talk about what's important to the student and their family. And finally, we engage in a discussion about accommodations, right? Skills you need to support the vision by asking them how they best like to be supported. That might include talking about what makes them feel calm, what tools they need to do their best work. The trajectory tool here is the tool that we will use that will help the student, family, and team think about future goals and what the student may need to complete those goals. You start with the vision for what the student wants, their skills and experiences. We want families to share what skills the student is demonstrating in the home and the community. The learning that is taking place in the home and community is just as valuable to our planning as that within the schools. You will be presented with data and information about your students' current functioning. This is the planning section of the meeting. The team will begin to develop goals based on this data, dialogue, and state requirements. All right, so these are some accessibility considerations. There is a variety of visual supports available. Conversation prompts are available to break down Charting the Life course concepts and connection to sections of the IEP, as well as standard training covers meeting-based accommodations, and additional training is being offered to help with all populations that we have. So please be aware that these things are in the minds of all as we make these adjustments in our district. As a family, the beginning of the meeting is important, the middle and after is just as important. Once the meeting is concluded, the case manager will write the IEP based on the conversations at the meeting. As usual, you will receive a copy of that IEP. If you have questions or don't see details discussed, reach out to the case manager. This is a document that can be amended if something was excluded by accident. The timelines are going to remain the same for IEP program. So here's a tip. Keep your tools. We can build on them during the next year or start from scratch. You choose, but it is a great idea to remember the journey to the goal. Here's another important step. After the meeting, you will be asked to complete a survey about your experience. We want to know if this process helped you plan for your students' future in a more proactive way. Take the time to share your feedback. It will help us improve the process for you and other families. And then always, if you have questions about implementation of the IEP or anything like that, remember that the case manager is the family's main contact if you have questions. So here's a timeline, the when and the where. As the district moves to a universal model, these are the timelines that we have in mind. So what you see is a map of our entire geographical area depicting all of the 22 partner districts we serve. The district has a 3-year timeline planned to train and support teachers in all 266 schools across the county. During the first year, this year, all middle and high school staff will be trained. The following year, we will support elementary schools. During the last of the 3 years, we are including early childhood, Summit Academy, and purchase of service. So here's what is part of that plan. We are training and supporting all SSD staff according to the timeline. The model is seeking feedback from students, teacher level staff, and families. So please share your thoughts. In the first year, staff are only required to complete a certain number, 3 IEPs using this tool. But if you as a family are very eager to get started, please reach out to your case manager and say, I would really like to try this new process to get started for my family. And they will do their best to accommodate you. So this was a lot of information, but I want you to know that supports are still available to you. You have many options. I'll slow down for a second here, but there is a QR code on the screen. That, if you take a picture of that and click the wording that comes under it, it will allow you to go to our website. And on SSD's website to support Charting the Life course, you will see an overview of the Charting the Life course IEP format, some of the conversation starters, the meeting resources we reviewed, online learning opportunities from our division here in FACE, and you can see other people's feedback about the process. We aren't going to leave you out there by yourself, so please know that our division has a number of ways to support you. Again, you have the website, but we're also offering webinars. So on September 30th, we're going to spend a little more time with this information and even using the tools virtually so that you can start the process in preparation for your child's IEP. You will get information in our district's newsletter regarding Charting the Life course in the spotlight. We will even have family feedback sessions available for you, as well as reaching out to our division here in FACE for one-to-one consultation about the tools to support you. On the right, you will see a flyer that talks about additional trainings for this process. So there will be an in-person learning series included in our Family Leadership Institute in November. We will have another in-person workshop on February 17th, and then we have other options to learn. So please reach out. So that concludes the session on Charting the Life course in the IEP and an overview. I will take a second to see if there are any questions or anything that I need to be aware of. All right, so I am being told that we don't have any questions. I am going to move through just the remainder of our slides, but if any questions come in, please feel free to let me know. So again, thank you for participating in today's Lunch and Learn. I apologize for the inconvenience due to technical difficulties, but we want to invite you and your family out to a great event happening Saturday, October the 11th. It is our biannual Family Academy. It will be a great opportunity to learn more about Charting the Life course and IEPs. We will have expert presenters on social emotional behavior and some individuals even from our department to talk about additional supports available at SSD. There will be a host of vendors there to talk to you about things you can navigate in the community, and even some of our SSD experts to talk about literacy, numeracy, autism, transition, and so much more. Another big day that's really dear to our heart is Unity Day, which is October 22nd this year. We invite you and your family to wear orange to show unity with us. We also have a contest, and I believe the contest submission date is October 10th. So if you have a young person or a young adult in your life who's very passionate about acceptance, inclusion, and kindness and wants to draw, dance, or create a video, please have them do so and submit that work to FACE at ssdmo.org. by October 10th at 3 p.m. And we would love to consider that entry to win a gift card from Amazon. Last but not least, we have a host of webinars available this year. You will see, again, September 30th, Charting the Life course in the IEP. On October 15th, we will have a speaker talking about how to support challenging conversations. And then don't miss December 2nd, Building Independence. You can actually register for all of these presentations now. You don't have to wait to get closer to the date. I believe that may be the last of my presentation for you, but I want you to stay connected with us. We have a newsletter that will be being distributed tomorrow that will support all of our events. It will share with you how to register, what those events mean, and how to get additional support for you and your family. FACE is here to support you. And we want you to know that you can reach out to us anytime if you have a question about navigating supports for your student, community resources, or you just need a friendly voice to hear you and talk about the different things that you are experiencing. Please feel free to take a moment and provide feedback regarding this experience and your learning with us today. We look forward to learning with you in the future, and we appreciate you. All right, I hear we have one question. All right, please share the one question with me and we can try to get it answered if it was not already answered. So I see that someone is interested in the timelines, like how will the specific needs of a student be addressed in that timeline? So here's the reality. IEP meetings are scheduled for a specific time. There is no guideline on how long that meeting has to be, but it is best practice to keep it efficient and effective. If an IEP meeting goes too long, then there is an option to shorten it. But the goal is to have this information ready and prepared for you to get started. But if time is a concern, I do encourage you to reach out to your case manager, share what the concerns are before the meeting so that we can make it the most efficient meeting possible. That's a great question. We've considered it, and I know that is a question many families have. The goal here is not to reduce services for your student, but to have more robust conversations about what is genuinely needed by your student to be successful. I hope that answers the question, but if not, I do encourage you to reach out to me and I can provide additional information or additional supports for you. All right, thank you guys for staying with us this long of a time. Again, we appreciate you and we invite you to reach out to us as we continue to work and navigate these improvements in our district. So thank you for participating in our Lunch and Learn, and hopefully we'll see you in another learning option soon. Thank you and have a great afternoon.